Hello, empowered principals to be. Welcome to the Aspiring School Leaders Workshop hosted by me, Angela Kelly, founder of the Empowered Principal. It is such an honor to be here with you today. I am feeling so much gratitude, so much appreciation. I'm delighted to share with you. I'm in Santa Cruz, California. I'm at the beach here in Santa Cruz, spending some time with friends. And I am just feeling delighted to be able to be here with you today in this energy, in this capacity, and to share with you all about school leadership. I'm really happy that you're here. Just by showing up for this workshop, you're accepting the invitation to really step into your identity as a school leader. You're welcoming this deepening of awareness and alignment and evolution and empowerment professionally and personally. This career that we're in, education, is expanding us as humans. It invites us in to understand who we are, how we think, how we tick, how we learn, right? We're in the business of humans as educators. And every human thinks differently, feels differently, learns differently, teaches differently, and leads differently. And we're here in this program to really explore and expand not just your skill set as an aspiring school leader, but to expand your identity and your mindset. So you're far ahead of the curve by joining this free masterclass. So I'm going to raise my glass to you. Got a little coconut water here this morning in my fancy plastic beach glass. But I'm delighted, absolutely delighted that you are here. This is one of my favorite courses to teach throughout the year to school leaders because of the energy that being new, the anticipation of becoming a school leader, that energy of aspiration when we're aspiring, it is so infectious. It's one of my favorite things to teach. I love being new. That's why I taught kindergarten. I think I just love new energy. I love when someone comes in and they're brand new. I call it puppy dog energy or kindergarten energy when they're just like, I want to learn all the new things. I want to touch this. I want to feel that. What's this? What's this? What does that do? The kids would come in to the classroom. So if you're feeling that, I'm feeling you. I love it. It's what I do best. New parents would come in. It was my favorite grade to teach because I could help families calm their anxieties, bring them in, and help them understand how to engage as parents with the school in a way that, invited them to advocate for themselves and for their students, but also in a way that helped them relax and understand what's to come. And that's what this course is, right? So the energy of anticipation, excitement, exploration, curiosity, adventure learning, that's what this is all about. So I really want you to take a moment to just sink into that, okay? And for those of you who are brand new into my world, it's such a delight to meet you. My name is Angela Kelly. I'm the founder of The Empowered Principal. I have been a certified life and leadership coach for the last 10 years. This is my ninth year as a full-time business owner serving school leaders, aspiring leaders, site leaders, district leaders, state leaders. I've worked with a full range of leadership in education. I've hosted professional development trainings. I've done in-person, virtual, one-on-one coaching for site and district leaders, group coaching for site and district leaders, presentations, speaking, all of that. It's so much fun. I love what I do. I love helping you. And I have been with my feet in the position in multiple schools. And I am here to share what I've learned, what I know, and to comfort you, to guide you, to mentor, to coach, and to support us in building schools where we all have potential. We all have, possibility in who we are. We want to empower every person on our campus, every student, every staff member, every leader. That's what we're here to do. That's what I do. So, to get into this energy for the next couple of hours, I would like for you to think back to the moment. Usually there is a moment of decision. So think back to the moment when you decided to embark on this leadership journey. You know, that moment where you're like, I could do that, or I think I'm ready, or I want to expand my impact here. Think back to what were you thinking? How were you feeling? And what was it that made you take school leadership into consideration? Was it, oh, I'm ready for a new challenge. I want to advance my career. I want to feel alive and engaged. Like I'm kind of like I've done this job for a while. Starting to get on auto repeat. These were all things I thought about. I was ready for a career change. I wanted to be re-engaged in a new way. Um, I wanted to feel like I had lots of meaning and impact in my as a teacher. And I was doing that as a kindergarten teacher, but I had taught kindergarten for 15 years. First grade kindergarten, mostly kindergarten. But I had been teaching for around 15 years. And then I went into I was a reading specialist for a year when I was doing intervention and supporting students in reading. And then after that, I went into instructional coaching, and that's really where I was like, wow, like it just expanded my perspective and my vision and my understanding of what's going on at a school level and in different classrooms. Because when you're in your room teaching, you're thinking about your room or your grade level or your department if you're at a, upper, high school level, college level, university level. It might be departments that you're thinking of, but you're in your little group. And then you expand out, you're like, whoa. So a lot of you may be instructional coaches. Perhaps you've worked with my good friend Becca Silver. She's an instructional coach for instructional coaches, and she teaches the whole educator. And if you're an instructional coach, you you have some perspective expansion. You're like, now I've got some coaching. I've got, coaching adults under my belt, coaching on curriculum, on classroom systems and classroom management, on you're coaching people on how they feel about themselves, their identity as a teacher, expanding that, helping new teachers expand, helping veteran teachers, make sure they are like still allow for wiggle room and adjustment and not get rigid. We just want to be flexible, right? As we're growing and expanding as educators, right? But leadership allows us to do that at a larger capacity, to serve more people, to increase your influence, your impact, your legacy, if you want to build one as an educator. And it also helps you generate more income. And I'm going to talk about this specifically for a little bit because this concept changed my identity as a leader. And I want to share it with you right here, right now, as you're aspiring into school leadership, because without this thought, I don't know that I would have evolved my leadership skills and mindset in the way that I did. So if you're thinking, gosh, I need to make some more money, or it'd be great to make some more money, or I want to have a higher income as I'm entering closer to retirement. I want my pension to be bigger. If you're thinking at all about money, but feel ashamed about it or don't want to admit that, I want to take a moment to sell your brain on this, okay? It is not unflattering for you to want to maximize your earning potential. It is not unbecoming of you to want to earn for yourself and your family. Let me tell you a little personal story. Before I went into school leadership, I was a single mom. I was married to my son, Alex's dad. We were married for about 8 years before we had Alex, and then we decided to separate and go our separate ways. We got married so young. We were in love and but we were young and we wanted different things. I wanted a big career and he wanted a big family and we just had differences. We decided out of love for Alex, out of love for ourselves to live different lives. So we separated when Alex was around 2.5 or 3. I became a single mom living in the Bay Area. And my ex-husband was very gracious and very generous and wanted us to stay in the home. So he made sure that happened through, supports, alimony, child support. But I knew that those incomes were temporary. I knew they wouldn't be forever. So that I had a decision to make as a single woman living in a very expensive part of the world. It was not that I didn't care about money. I cared about money. I wanted to maintain my home. I was the head of household. I had a house to run. I had a child to feed and to parent and to bring up into this world. And I knew mathematically what I needed in order to do that. That was not unbecoming of me as a parent to want that for my family. That was not unflattering. And educators are told, like, oh, you never make any money. And I know there's a big story out there. And it's true. There are educators in certain parts of the United States and the world that make very, very little, especially if you compare it to other professions, corporate life, and whatever. So I'm not discounting that. What I'm saying is that that's even more reason to want to maximize your earning potential. So it's not unbecoming of you to want to care for yourself and your family. And here is what I learned about money and as it related to my career at the time. It's true regardless, in my opinion. It's true across the board, but money is not an exchange of time. We think that if we go and work from 8 to 5, like I used to work at a grocery store when I was in high school, and I would go in from 8 to 5, 9 to whatever the hours were. I remember 9 to 6, 10 to 7. It was like a 9 hour shift, but you got two 15-minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch. Unpaid, of course. So your 8 hours, it was like I come in and I work for 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, and I get so much money for that exchange of time. That feels true because when you're there are people who are putting in a little bit of effort and making what you make, and there are people who are putting in a lot of effort and making what you make. So then I was like, well, maybe it's an exchange. Maybe money is actually an exchange of not of time because, and here's the thing, if that were true, if 8 hours was worth a certain amount of money, everyone would be making the same amount in 8 hours. So why are there billionaires and why are there people struggling to make ends meet? It's not an issue of time. There are people who work tons of hours and struggle financially. There are people who work very little and make lots of money. So what is it? Then I thought, well, maybe time is effort. I mean, maybe money is an exchange of effort. I put in a ton of effort. I work really hard. And if I put a lot of effort in, then I'll make more. But as you know, there are lots of people in the world who put in an extraordinary amount of effort into each and every workday, and they make minimum wage. And even though they are working as hard as they possibly can, their effort, they can't, they can only tap out so much effort output, right? So what is it? Money is an exchange of value. It's the value that you provide to the district. So you can't go in and sit for 8 hours and call it a work day and get paid. Or you can't go in and run around and put a lot of physical effort into your day or even mental and emotional effort. Now, this is where it's going to feel a little gray, but you can put in a lot of effort. But does the effort output create value? So, as you're aspiring into school leadership, and this is why I'm telling you this right now, as you are aspiring into school leadership, you want to be thinking about the value that you can contribute to the position for which you are interviewing or, seeking to fill the position that you want, which is most likely a site leader, but you might be in a site leadership aspiring into district administration. So, what is the value that you can contribute? What does this school need in terms of value? Does it need more culture, climate work, relationship work, morale? Does it need more instructional leadership value? Does it need, um, I know everyone thinks about test scores, but I'm thinking more about the type of learning that's going on. Does it need more safety, physical safety? Is it in an unsafe situation? How can we create more safety for that school? Is it physical safety, emotional safety, mental safety, psychological safety? Is it in financial distress? Do we need to raise funds, work with our PTA, get this community involved, grants, businesses? What type of value will improve the quality of experience for yourself, your staff, your students, your community, your families? Okay. So the more valuable you become as a leader, and today you are creating value. This is making you more valuable because you're expanding the way that you think, you're expanding your perspective, you're contemplating things you might not have considered prior to this conversation, right? You're at the table with the empowered principles, and just being in this room virtually is making you more valuable. You're investing in yourself. That is how you make more money, right? And it's perceived value. It's not saying, I used to feel bad about thinking like this because I thought, wow, like there's a lot of value for, garbage collectors and um, people who serve in restaurants. It's a service industry, right? They're maybe cleaning hotel rooms. That's a lot of value because I do not want to walk into a nasty hotel room, right? I think it's very valuable. And yet perceived value in the world, there's kind of a level in which people feel that people who provide cleaning services can make, which is why I tip big, because I find it valuable personally to walk into a really clean room. So when we're thinking about school leadership, you want to be thinking about the value that you're providing. It doesn't matter how much time plus effort, because I used to think time plus effort equals money, right? This much work really hard and work really long, lots of effort. And we're taught this, lots and lots of effort. That is where, if you're not careful, you can burn out. And it's equally true that you can work long and you can work hard and not burn out, depending on your mindset. So, the emotions that we feel, the drive that we have, is what evolves us. That desire for expansion, that desire for growth and potential, it's the fuel required in leadership because we are on a journey of our identity, who we're becoming. So if you think back to probably in high school or right into college, you made a decision to go on the journey of being an educator. So this journey started with college and courses and classes and theories and pedagogy, and then it went into practicums, and then it went into student teaching, and then it went into like the real deal. You got hired, you got a job. Your journey of as an educator is evolving, who you're becoming. The college student who desires to become a teacher, who's eager, who goes to practicums, who interacts with kids, who studies what worked, what didn't, what are they going to do differently. The person who gets their credential, the person who goes through all those interviews, some yeses, some no's, rejection, heartbreak. It feels like, you're on speed dating when you're interviewing and you're getting those no's, and it's so sad because you really had your heart set on this, and then you finally get the yes, finally find the one, right? That's a match. That's a want match. They want you, you want them, match. Even if it's not a perfect match, maybe you're like, oh, I 80% want this job, but I want a job. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go in and learn this job. Your identity evolved. And then you get into a classroom, you're like, holy cow, everything I feel like I've ever learned is went out the window. And I have to like learn by doing. And now we're in the classroom and we're setting it up, and oh, I don't have the budget for all the cute things I wanted. I've got to get on Pinterest, or I've got to make it myself, or I'm going to spend my own money. And then we have to learn about the systems and the classroom management and the actual little human beings that come into our room, and then the parents and all of their anxieties, right? So much more. You're expanding, it's learning and growing, right? This is what kids are doing every single day. And now you're going to do it again in leadership. And there's this expansion and then hold. And then we just feels really good. We're in flow. And then we expand and kind of struggling and crunchy, and then feels good. We're in an expansion stage right now. This is what I love. This is learning. This is what it feels like to be a student. And it's good to expand ourselves because we remember what it feels like to be that little student, having to be vulnerable, having to expand, having to grow. Just like those teachers who, they're vulnerable as we're coming into their classrooms and looking and watching and observing. You remember that feeling? If you had a really like strict principal or person, whoever was observing you, and you're like, oh, I got to get this right. I don't want harsh criticism or feedback, but you feel vulnerable. Them watching you be you on your journey as an imperfect human. There's no perfect teacher out there. There's no perfect leader out there. But we're moving through this journey together here in the empowered principal world. So ground yourself in this desire for growth because it's going to tether you in moments of stress, confusion, uncertainty, really painful moments. It'll tether you. This work is hard. It's hard mentally, but it's hard emotionally because you're in the business of people. We're about the humanity here. So you become a leader first for you, then for them, then for the greater good. So I always say for us, for them, for the greater good. It's a spin off of what my coach used to say for me, for you, for us. But for us as leaders, we have to become a leader, one who leads herself, himself, their self. We lead ourselves to be ordered to lead them, our staff and students, for the greater good of our families, communities, and all of humanity. So this work, the desire to get into this job has to feel good. You have to want it, right? It's like Rocky. You have to want to get into a ring and get beat up, right? You have to have a desire, a hunger, bringing your talents, your strengths, your brilliance, but also knowing that with you comes those moments of weakness, those areas you don't feel as strong in, those Achilles heels, right? All of you comes into the ring. But if it's a calling, if it's compelling, that tethers you, it grounds you. And look, anybody can do anything, right? I could go train to be a boxer at the age of 55. I could go do that, but I don't want to do that. So I'm not compelled to do it. So it would not be fun for me. It would not be a goal. I wouldn't sustain that goal. I wouldn't pursue it. And even if I pursued it for a hot minute, it wouldn't last because I don't have the desire. It has to be fulfilling. It has to be something you want to do. So there's something beyond the skill of being a leader. So many people come into my program and they're like, I want to know how to do this job. How do I do this job? Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. With all of the love and respect and grace, I offer you this. When you become a leader, and you've been a leader before, so we're going to tap into the parts of you that have already been a leader. You've led yourself through college, you've led yourself to learn your classroom. You have been a leader in your classroom for yourself and your students and for families. But when you say, just tell me how to be a leader, that's not what leadership is. The energetics of leadership matter. And what are the energetics of leadership? I'm going to talk about this a lot. It's not something you hear very often. So I want to be direct in what this means, what I'm referring to when I say this. The energetics of leadership It's the energy that is fueling your decisions and your actions. It's emotional energy. It's like when you drive up to a gas station for your car and you have choices of fuel. It's the fuel that you put in the car. It's how you feel about yourself, the thoughts you think about yourself, your identity, what you believe you are and are not, how you feel about your ability to lead, to be a leader. Now, if you're aspiring, you're feeling like I have the capacity to lead. That's great. You're feeling good about yourself. And then you'll get into the position, and part of your leadership energy is going to be the thoughts and feelings you have about those that you're leading. You're going to have opinions about certain staff members. You're going to have thoughts and feelings about certain families, about certain policies that the district has, certain procedures, certain things they want you to do, initiatives. You're going to have feelings about those, fuel going in. You're going to have thoughts about your influence and impact, your capacity to create influence and impact. You're going to have thoughts and feelings about the vision you have for your school. Do I have a vision? Am I leading the vision? Am I somewhere in the middle? Am I in the back cleaning up all the messes that people leave behind? Where am I in this vision? Am I leading it? Ooh, that feels kind of scary, doesn't it? To think that I'm leading the pack, I'm leading the circus. And how do you feel about your capacity to handle anything that comes your way in school leadership? This is the energetics. This is what matters. This is the difference between two leaders who got trained at the same school with the same teachers in the same way, got the same credential, have two very different experiences. It's just little differences. What they think, what they feel, how they perceive things, the perception, their, ability to look through different lenses, look at look through all the facets, look through all the angles, consider different ways of thinking and being. Energetics is just running the show. And the easiest way I can explain it is that if you were a car and you pull up to the gas station, there's different octane levels, there's ethanol, there's diesel. Which gasoline is the most ideal for you? Everybody thinks they want premium, but there's some cars that have to run on diesel. And you put premium in them, they shut down. Or if you use ethanol in a car that's not equipped to handle ethanol, doesn't work, shuts it down. It's not that one's better than the other. It's which is the right energetics for you, which is the right fuel, the right thoughts, the right feelings, the right mindset, the right for you. So we all have a vision of what school leadership will look and feel like. And there's the expectations that we have, what we think it's going to be like in anticipation, and then the reality of what it actually is. And I know for me, there was a gap in what I thought it would look and feel like and what it actually was. So people tend to go in one of two ways. They kind of go to all or none thinking. So on my end, it was like, it's going to be great. I'm going to have so much more flexibility. I'm going to have so much more influence and say in what goes on. I'm going to fix all these things that aren't working for teachers. I'm going to fix it all. I had just this very sunshiny energy. It's like thinking about vacation. When you're thinking about going on vacation, you're just thinking about all the happy stuff and how you're going to feel and how good it's going to be. You're not thinking about the potential of a flight delay or losing your luggage or the hotel room's not ready or you're taking your kids to Disneyland. They're going to have a major meltdown right when they're meeting Mickey Mouse and the pictures got ruined. Like you don't think about that stuff. You think about the happy stuff. That's one side. Other people tend to think about all that could go wrong because they want to be prepared. Well, what if the plane gets delayed? What are we going to do? What's going to happen if our luggage gets, what's going to happen if the hotel sucks when we get there? What's going to happen if we can't get an Uber, if they don't have Uber services? What's going to happen if the kids melt down? And so you can see on one end, it's like ignorance is bliss. It's so happy and you're expecting good things. And a lot of times good things happen when you expect them to happen because you're in alignment with the good things happening. That's where I tend to lean. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be prepared so that your trip does go as smoothly as possible. However, this, when you're all daisies and roses, you can get severely blindsided when you step into school leadership, which is what happened to me. I was smacked in the face at the reality, and it was harsh. And it made me go into a identity spiral. I call these identity quakes. We're going to talk about this in a minute, but like I spun out of control. Like, what have I done? This is terrible. I'm not good at this. I'm not cut out for this. I can't do this job. Like this just, I got to go back to the kindergarten classroom. But then I felt all this shame and embarrassment and guilt because I felt I was failing. I felt like something had really gone wrong. My nervous system completely short wired, dysregulated. And I had a hard time my first 2 years. And because of that, and because I didn't know how to get into the energetics of leadership, I and I got a coach is what ended up happening, but I was really spinning. I did not serve my first school to the best of my capacity because I was so caught up in how I felt and the disillusionment. That's why I'm bringing it up. I want to bring you into the land of and. So it's not all sunshine and daisies, but it's not all doom and gloom. Over here, you have the person who doesn't ever really go into school leadership because they want to, but they got to know this and that. And what if this happens and I don't know how I'm going to handle that? So I got to prepare. And they go overanalyze and they overthink and they already got to talk themselves out of it and they're never quite ready. Maybe next year, maybe one more year. Maybe I'll just go and they ease in. But in the land of and, where you understand that it's not that it's a 50-50 experience no matter what, then you think, okay, these hard things are going to happen, but I've got the capacity to handle them when they come. I don't need to know everything now. These people be like, I trust that this is going to be an amazing experience. And I know there will also be hard times and I can handle it when they come up. Right? Sometimes we romanticize leadership. I'm going to have so much more time and flexibility and power and I can come and go. I thought all the things, right? I thought it was going to be when you view the principal, just like she gets to be out of the classroom. Like I felt like I want to go to the bathroom midday. Like I don't want to have to wait till lunch to use the restroom. It would be so nice, right? Must be so nice to just sit in meetings. It must be so nice. And then I got into it, right? Other people are like, I would never do that. It is the worst job in the world. Can't handle it. This person's not going to make it, and this person's not going to make it unless they go into the land of and. And here's what I want to tell you. I don't want to break your heart, but I do want to set you up for success. Being a principal, or if you're aspiring to be a district leader, being in a leadership position of any capacity, it's not better than not being in it. It's just different. So, as a teacher, you have great days, exceptional days, wonderful. This is why I went into teaching. Best day ever. And you have the hardest, most heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, horrible, no good, very bad days where you're like, why? I'm leaving education. This is horrible. Nothing works. The kids are terrible, whatever. We just go and we're never going to do it again. We're going to go sell lattes at a local coffee shop, or we're going to run to the beach and make Mai Tais, right? We want to get away. Exceptional, exceptionally hard. Teaching, school leadership, you have exceptional days. You're like, oh, that is exactly how I thought it would feel. It's amazing. And you're going to have heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, no good, very bad days. And you're going to wonder why you ever stepped into school leadership. It's 50-50, folks, whether you're a teacher, a site leader, a district leader, whether you're a homemaker, whether you're in corporate. But if you can align to, that's why I said when you can align to the calling, the mission, it doesn't, the hard days, you accept them as part of the mission, as part of the calling. This is the work I want to do, even on the hard days. It's like parenting. Even on the hardest of days when you're like, motherhood, fatherhood, parenthood. I don't know about this, but you would never, right? We love our babies still, even on the hardest, even on the heartbreaking days, the days they graduate and leave us, the day they, get their first tooth and you're like, oh, I like that toothless grin, right? We romanticize our lives or we catastrophize them. Empowerment brings you back to the land of and. Okay. So why should we even dip our toe in leadership? Why are we going here? It's because as humans, we are wired for growth. We are wired for evolution. That's why we're in the business of education. We loved it. We loved learning and growing. Most educators liked school. Even though school could be greatly improved, we loved school as kids. We loved playing teacher. You probably played school outside of school, right? Okay. Why we do this? Humans are wired for growth, for evolution, not stagnancy. They don't want to just sit around and do the same thing Groundhog's Day for 50 years. You want to get out. You want to learn how to surf, or you want to go mountain biking, or you want to learn how to crochet, or you want to learn how to create beautiful meals, or you want to learn how to communicate better, or you want to learn how to play guitar, or whatever. There's a bazillion endless things you can learn and grow. Personally, professionally, doesn't matter. We're not wired for stagnancy. We're wired to be alive, to be engaged, to enjoy this opportunity of life that we have. And if you think about being new, I love this part. All of us were new at some point. Everything we've ever experienced was new at some point. Learning how to drink from a glass without spilling used to be really hard. Have you seen a toddler or a very elderly person struggle with this? Everything was new at some point. And when we were little, I have one of my closest friends has babies. She's got a 4-year-old and a 9-month old, or he'll be turning 4. But I love watching them because I'm not the mother, so I have a degree of separation. I can observe them in just pure joy and just observe them being little humans without all of the world's worries on their shoulders. Everything is new at some point. They love it, they explore it, they embrace new things, everything for them. They're excited, they giggle, they're happy, they're interesting. Oh, it's just divine joy to see children learning, which is why we're in the field. Whether you are teaching littles or you're teaching way up to the big kids, the big adults, right? You could be teaching at a university level, but those freshmen, it's new. And when we're little, we love being new. We love the excitement. And then as we grow older and we get more self-conscious, and then we have social pressures and opinions that, come in and encroach on our learning and our being new, we didn't used to not care what it looked like. And as we get older, we start to care. We start to not to want to be new. Oh, I don't want to go. I'm taking dance classes right now. And I feel myself like we go and we practice at my friend's house on Monday nights, but then we go to the class on Wednesday nights. And I feel so much pressure because these people are good dancers. I got into an intermediate class and I had no business, but I'm doing it because so I could go with my friends. So she teaches me all the things, the steps, and then I go and I fuddle around. I feel the discomfort of being new. But what I decided to do was apply my own thought process and my own concepts to that class. So I go in and I'm like, yep, I'm brand new. Yep, I'm just learning. Yes, I am a brand new intermediate. So I am an intermediate, but I'm new at being intermediate. I'm not an advanced intermediate. I'm not an intermediate. I am a new intermediate. But I'm going to just come in with puppy dog energy and have fun and smile and laugh and thank people. I only had one out of like, I don't know, 12 or 14 partners because you change partnerships. Only one that was kind of grumpy. Remember to count. Remember. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to remember to count while I'm also remembering to move my body in the right way and follow the leader's cues. So when we're little and there's no pressures, we're just compelled. We're just exploring. So, what we want to do as leaders, we want to remember as adults to embrace being new, embrace new things with the enthusiasm of a child, but also with the patience of a mature adult. Sometimes we'll avoid putting ourselves in situations, and the older we get, the less, flexible we are with that, the less amenable we are to learning new things. We're like, oh, I just do it my way. We don't want to look clumsy. We don't want to look awkward. This is something I am really embracing this year, just putting myself in situations that are new, that are different, going to different places, trying different things, going to actual classes where I am clumsy, I am awkward, I am new, nobody knows me, I don't know them, and I feel those emotions inside my body. I worry about what others will think. This is going to happen to you. You're going to get hired into either into your own school district or another one, and you're not going to know what the heck you're doing. And you're going to think about, what are others thinking about me? I'm embarrassed. I feel silly. I don't know. I feel awkward. I don't like this feeling in my body. It's so crunchy. Ugh. But if you come in knowing you're new, embracing being new, letting that new energy be infectious, take it in stride. Just have fun with it. So, as adults, when we get in, especially a leadership role, there's something that's like, oh, well, now that I'm a leader, I'm expected to just walk in and know. And here's what's crazy. I basically got hired, here are your keys, a brand new principal at a brand new school, brand new construction. Wasn't even finished on day one. We had plumbing issues. The kitchen wasn't done. We had to do sack lunches for the kids. I'm telling you, hot mess express. I was a brand new principal. I had no idea what I was doing. Thank goodness for a very skilled and seasoned secretary who basically ran the show and told me what to do and where to, what to focus on, right? And what to prioritize. And then I stepped into after that first year, I really started to embrace okay, my identity as the leader, and I would work with her, but we became like co-leaders. And then I moved to another school. But as adults, it is very uncomfortable to be new because they're like, here are the keys. You're now the leader. Know everything, do everything, be everything. Have a great day. So you're like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to know this? And then the minute you don't know something, or the minute you misspeak or misstep or misunderstand or miscommunicate, I'm flawed. I've done something wrong. I'm not cut out. I'm not the right fit. This isn't the right school for me. Your brain just goes off. It starts to tell you all these things. Go back to teaching. I just want you to know you're going to feel discomfort when you get into school leadership. Nothing's gone wrong. You're right on track. This part's uncomfortable. Just tell yourself that. Today, I'm feeling really new, feeling really clumsy, feeling a little awkward, pretty vulnerable. It's a tough feeling, but I'm here for it. I've got this. It was hard to be a new teacher, and now it's hard to be a new principal. And today I'm having a hard day. Being new at anything is hard. It's clumsy. Just know that you're not going to know. This discomfort that you feel, I call it just kind of crunchy inside, where you're like, ugh, cringy. That's the emotion that accompanies growth, evolution, and success, right? So, okay. When you get into school leadership, you're going to feel doubt. There will be the emotion, the fuel that goes into your body one day when you go to the gas station of life is doubt. You're like, okay, I got this job. Now what? I don't know. You feel excited and you're like, somebody tell me what to do, but they're going to expect you to lead. So you're in this little quandary here. Like, what do I do? Well, you're going to have to take action in doubt. You're going to have to allow yourself to feel like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm not sure if this is the right decision. And I feel doubtful, and I've got to make this decision. I've got to take this action. Just let yourself feel doubtful. And some days, yes, you're going to go home. There will be water leaking out of your eyes many days on your drive home or when you get home. Just know tears will come. It's okay. Cry it out. The tears won't hurt you. That actually releases emotion. It's a very good thing. When you are really in doubt and you're in an overwhelm cycle, just acknowledge it. Be kind to yourself. But don't think something's gone wrong. There's a difference. I'm feeling this way today and it's a normal part of the process versus I'm feeling this way today and something's gone wrong and I need to fix this now. That's accepting and allowing the emotion, the fuel that went in the tank for the day versus trying to like spit it out and avoid the emotion or stopping the car altogether, halting. But here's the thing, you can always let the fuel run through, feel the doubt, feel all the feels, and then refuel. Okay, now what? Go back and get the right gas. Overwhelm is going to happen. It's okay. Literally in school leadership, there is too much to do and not enough time. It's a mathematical certainty. Just like the Titanic sinking, as the guy said, it is a certainty. It's a mathematical certainty that there is too much to do and not enough time. So we don't have to argue with ourselves or try to convince other people that there is too much to do as a school leader or a district leader and there's not enough time. We know that because we people want us to solve the world's problems as educators, right? So we know this without a doubt. But the sooner you realize that the demands are always going to outweigh what you can physically accomplish, then you just start to accept. I'm going to need to plan this out. I'm going to need to prioritize. Sometimes I'm going to have to triage. Sometimes there's going to be wipeout days. But I'm also going to learn to constrain myself. I'm not going to try and solve all the problems. I'm not going to buy into whack-a-mole, putting out fires. And I'm going to allow myself to accurately delegate, which is an entire skill that I teach. How to delegate, how to onboard, how to teach someone before you, all of the onboarding stuff, all of the delegation stuff, like those are critical parts of, those are the skill sets, but it's also part of mindset when it comes to being a highly, highly effective school leader. So these are things that most principals don't want to do. They don't want to make decisions when they're feeling doubt. They want to wait until they feel certainty. That delays, it stagnates. They don't want to delegate because they want to make sure they do it themselves and get it done right the first time, right? They don't want to have to prioritize because everything feels like a priority, especially in your first year. It's just fire hose coming at you. What do I do? You have to learn the skill of slowing down. But you have to, in order to learn the skill of slowing down, you have to have the mindset that it's okay to slow down. So, this is why I talk about mindset over skill set because you can't create the skill set, the practice, the things that you do without the mindset of who you have to be. That it's okay to slow down, that it's safe to slow down, that it will be better for you and your school if you take the time to slow down, to plan, to prepare, to think, to constrain, to prioritize, to learn, to come to one of my, like just one of my other programs, like to be in a program, to be at the table like this, where you slow down for an hour a week and you have these conversations around mindset to get you in the place to then create the skill set. They go hand in hand. So your mind will want to indulge in overwhelm. I'm so overwhelmed. Brand new leaders, it's a thing. Overwhelm's actually a thing. You're going to want to indulge in that. You're going to want to swim around and you're going to feel sorry for yourself because there's so much to do. Mathematical certainty. There's too much to do and not enough time. Now what? But there's, I got, what do we want to do? We want to respond with prioritization, constraint, and slowing down. But what we do is we react. We tend to like go work, over schedule, overexert, over plan. We just crunch too much in, and then we're frustrated that we planned all these things and nothing got done. So just be careful if overwhelm starts to become the excuse that you don't have the time, because that will become an identity. I'm the school principal who never has enough time. There's too much to do, not enough time. I don't have the time. I don't manage my time. I don't prioritize my time because I don't have time to do all of that. I don't have time. There's not enough time. Your relationship with time will erode your capacity to lead. You have to build a healthy relationship with time. That is an entire mastery course that I teach. And in EPC, which is the Empowered Principal Collaborative, we talk about time all of the time because your relationship with time really, really matters. A leader who identifies themselves as busy. I'm so busy. It's been a busy week. I'm really busy. There's a lot on my plate. This story, this identity of a leader who's always busy, you will forever feel busy and overwhelmed. If that's the story you choose, if that's the title of your book, the title of your career path, the identity that you embody, you'll forever be busy. And here's where people get a little bit gray on this. Busy does not mean productive. We I can remember trying to look busy so that people thought I was being a productive principal. So silly. I wanted to be very busy. And I thought, gosh, if I had any downtime, I must be doing something wrong, right? So here's my invitation. The solution to overwhelm is this. When you start to feel it, you'll know. You'll feel it in your body. Tune in and say to yourself, like, I'm not too busy to slow down. Because if you start saying, oh my God, I'm so busy, I'm really slammed, I'm overwhelmed, it's the fuel you're putting in the tank. Okay, excuse me. You want to put a different octane in. Take a breath, slow down, break your tasks down. What's the one thing you want to get done today? If you could walk out of the door with one thing being done today, what is it? That's where planning mastery, time mastery, balance mastery programs, all of these programs in EPC, which is the Empowered Principal Collaborative, I've created them because it's the mix of the mindset plus the skill set, who to be and how to apply. Okay. So for people who feel overloaded, even for the most enthusiastic of extroverts, you're going to experience people overload because you're in the business of people all day long. So you've got kids coming at you, teachers, staff members, parents, community members, school board, district level, county, state, whatever, office staff, your special education staff, your, psychology, counseling staff, nursing staff, custodial staff, cafeteria staff members, transportation, technology. You're gonna have days where you're like, no more people, please. No, thank you. You'll be tired of dealing with people. I'm pretty extroverted. I like people, but I have a limit. I'm just like, don't want to deal with people today, right? It's a lot, it's energy, right? They're filling their tanks and they're coming at you, and some of them are like, ah. Other people are calm. Some people are very insistent. Some people are aggressive. There's a lot of energy that you're holding space for. So there's going to be their energy, their requests, their personalities, their quirks, their demands, right? What they want, their opinions. They all want your time and attention. It gets annoying. You get overloaded. Again, nothing's gone wrong. You're a human. And some days you have more capacity for it than others. You're just going to be in tune with that capacity. So when you start to feel annoyed, irritated, impatient, again, slowing down, give yourself permission to take a break. I cannot emphasize enough the power of stopping and taking a few deep breaths to re-regulate yourself. Because your brain will go on autopilot, your body goes on autopilot, and then your identity becomes reacting versus responding. You want to give yourself some permission to close that office door, if you have one, and get some alone time. Just a few minutes can make a big difference to gather yourself. Or if somebody's really set you off, you might need to be angry for a few minutes or to cry for a few minutes and then reapply, right? The slowing down, the permission, the identity of like, I'm a human too. I'm a principal and I'm a human. I'm a district leader and I'm a human and I have human emotions. expands your capacity, expands your perspective. Just separate yourself from them. And this is where I talk about relationship and master and communication mastery in EPC. Okay, this one is really for the brand new leaders. And sometimes we have imposter syndrome even as veterans because there's always something we don't know. We're like, wait a minute, I've been doing this job. I tell this story all the time, but Dr. Kreitz was one of my favorite principals. She had been doing site leadership. It was her 19th year. I think I was in like my third or fourth year. And I said to her, Dr. Kreitz, when does this ever get easier? And she looks at me. This was a tall, thin woman. She had presence. She had power. She was an empowered principal, like the poster child of empowerment. She just put her hands on her hips. She said, "Honey, it never gets easier. What are you talking about?" And when she said that, she kind of laughed. And she goes, "That's what I love about it. I love it. I love it's always different. I love this and I love that." And I literally felt the burning of tears coming. Like, what is she saying to me right now? This never gets easier. Oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this. And I had a moment of complete imposter syndrome, complete inefficiency. I felt so inefficient. I was watching her just be a powerhouse. I felt completely incompetent, comparing, despairing. Yes, I know. But in the moment, like I just wanted to be like her. Well, she made it look so easy. She made it look like flow. She made it look fun. She looked like she was enjoying herself. And I was like, I want that because I was spinning out in my head. I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. What are people thinking? I can't do this. I don't know that. I thought I was going to have power. I don't have power. This is worse. This is I just, so in my head about me. But the more that you become aware of who you are and how you're feeling, your identity, if you get stuck and spinning on that, you're going to get stuck in an overwhelm cycle that's like a merry-go-round. It's going to make you sick to your stomach. The bouts of insufficiency and incompetency will paralyze you from leading because the power thought will be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure how to handle this. I don't know what to do. I'm not enough. It's an insufficient feeling, no matter what you're doing. It's like, I'm not being enough. I'm not trying hard enough. I don't know enough. What is the solution to insufficiency? For me and for the clients that I serve, you can't do it all. Too much to do and not enough time. It's a mathematical certainty. You can't do everything, but you can do anything, any one thing. Focus on one thing at a time. When you get one thing done, you feel accomplished. It gives you a notch in your belt in terms of sufficiency, of competency. Maybe I didn't get these other 8 things done, but I got this done. Every time you do the one thing, you expand your capacity. One, you're expanding your capacity no matter what, but you will feel more accomplished. Your identity will evolve. This is what leadership mastery is. This is the leadership energetics I'm talking about. It's the balance of doing and being. So, right now, as we're sitting here together in this webinar, you have a current self identity. You have a self concept about who you are. I want you to think for a minute about your character traits. You believe certain things that you are, you believe certain things you're not. I am this, I am not that. I can do this, I can't do that. These are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. This is what I'm capable of, this is what I can and cannot do. This is what I can and cannot handle. This is what I can and cannot learn. You have a certain identity right now. And it's funny, we'll introduce ourselves based on who we believe we are. Like when we meet somebody for the first time, we're going to say like, "Oh, I'm a brand new principal. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Tell me what to do." Or we come in, "Hi, I'm the principal of Sunnyside Elementary School. Pleasure to meet you." Confident, calm, assured, empowered. You can do that in your first year, or you can do that in your 10th year. "Hi, I'm the new principal at Sunnyside Elementary School. What a pleasure to meet you." You might identify as being young, too young for the job, or maybe too veteran. Nobody likes me, or nobody knows me. Experienced. Hi, been doing this job for 10 years, or uh, I have no idea what's going on here. I'm brand new. We talk about this. Our identity comes through in our interactions with other humans, right? We tell people, I'm good at this, not good at that. I know how to do this, not that. Your identity has a direct impact on your capacity to lead. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. There's a quote out there that says that. Is it Yoda? I don't know. But whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Now, every time we go through like a little upgrade, right? Like you upgrade your computer, your phone, you up level, you have a little identity quake. So when you went from being a student, like you were living with your parents and then you were at college, and then you went from being a college student to being a brand new young little teacher. There's an identity quake that happens. There's an up every time you up level, you have little identity quakes. They're like little earthquakes, right? I guess living in California, I think of them like little shakes, right? Like, oh, that just kind of shook up my identity a little bit. Sometimes they're small and we gather ourselves quickly. It's like anything under a 4.0, we don't, we might feel it, but we don't really blink our eyes at it out here. But when it gets into the 5, 6, 7 Richter scale, okay, you have our attention. When it gets into 7, 8, 9, we're destruction, major destruction. But like that 4.0 to maybe 6.0, like that's a healthy shake. You're like, okay, you have my attention. What's going on? This happens in our lives. We have like little quakes. It's like, oh, a little change here and there. And then you have big ones. Going from not being married to being married, big change in identity. Going from married to not being married, big change in identity. Not a parent to a parent, right? Whether you physically have a baby, you adopt a child, when your family structure changes, you go from not parent to parenting, big identity change, right? Teacher to principal, it's a big identity change. There's going to be a quake. And sometimes it's, you were, I had this experience where I always thought I was a really good writer. And then, I had an English teacher. It was actually when I was writing my master's that I learned, like, oh, I have a lot to learn about writing. I know how to write in certain ways, but definitely not in this more technical way when I was writing my thesis. And I got a lot of critical feedback, and it expanded my capacity to be a writer. But sometimes people can take you down a few notches and you're like, whoa, that's not who I thought I was. Or this is who I am now and I'm growing is the new paradigm here. But when you're in it, you're like, whoa, why are we going here? This doesn't feel good, right? Or if you were like a cross country runner and you were the fastest runner in your town and then you went to state finals and you got your buns kicked, right? Or when you think you're a very good, I feel like everyone thinks they're a really, really good driver, but then somebody gets in the car and they're like mentioning otherwise. You're like, wait a minute. No, those are the little ones, kind of fun ones that I think about, like when someone questions your identity, but you can also get a major quake when something you didn't see hits you in a way that dismantles everything you thought about yourself. So there will be times in school leadership when your identity gets challenged. You're going to receive feedback from superiors or comments from community members or opinions from teachers that have you start to question what you once thought about yourself. And it can go both ways. Like it can be on the positive end. A lot of times we think of it as the negative end, like, oh, I thought I was this, but then somebody took me down a couple notches. But it can be like, oh, I'm just a wee little principal. And you're like, no, your school just achieved. This actually happened to me. Like, we ended up getting California State Distinguished School Award. I couldn't even own it. I gave credit to the former principal, which she deserved. She definitely set the foundation. But she said, Angela, like, I set the foundation, but you've been there for 2 years. You earned this in your school. It was hard for me to accept that identity, that I had accomplished something like that. So just be mindful, like comments that negate a positive identity, like they kind of take you down a notch, they tend to carry more weight. They get more attention from our brain than a comment that encourages a more positive self identity. Like when someone says, "Oh, you're really good at this," you're like, "Yeah, but not actually so much." But when you think you're doing well and someone says something, whew. So you'll put more weight into a negative comment than you do into an encouraging positive one. Just be mindful of that. Notice the difference because we tend to be much more willing to be swayed to the negative than swayed to the positive. So why do these identity things happen? Why does all this setback happen? It's meant to get our attention. When you have an identity quake, it is like someone shaking you. Hello, knock, knock, who's there? Can I come in for a second? Let's talk. Let's have a chat. It's meant to get our attention. It's meant for an invitation for deeper self reflection, deeper understanding, developing an awareness of who we are and what makes us tick and why we are feeling the way we feel and what our identity is. It really gives you an invitation to be like, who am I? What does this even mean? And to discern for yourself. This is a huge part of school leadership is accepting in the idea that as leaders, it is our responsibility and obligation. You could say obligation. I like to say ownership. It's when we take ownership of self-discernment. So people will have opinions, they will have thoughts. You will have teachers telling you, if I were the principal, I would do it this way. And you can say, when you're the principal, you can do it that way, right? Self-discernment, deciding what is true, what's not for us, what works, what doesn't for us, for our school. Everyone has an opinion, but you have to be able, as a leader, to self discern. And a lot of times we want to default to what other people think we should do, and let's just do that. But then they're leading, you're not leading. It takes courage to have self discernment, to really identify what's going on for your school, and to say, actually, what I think we need here is this. Actually, we've got too many things going on. We need to constrain here. Let's do this one thing really, really well. And if we can do this, it'll have a ripple effect and we'll be okay. We're going to be okay. Because what can haunt you as a new leader is the past identity of your school. The school has a culture, the school has a past. People have opinions and stories about your school, right? And those aspects of that identity can come into your leadership and your past identity. If you were timid and meek and needed a lot of guidance, or you tended to be more forward and more, assertive and just kind of plowed through without maybe considering other people's, you know, impact or input. So our past identities can come in, but also the identity of the school. So we want to contemplate our past identity and is that who we want to be as we're transitioning into this new identity as a leader? Because you get to be whoever you want as a leader. Who you were as a teacher does not have to define who you were as a leader. You can bring in the best of it, bring in the best of the best. The best aspects of me being a teacher are going to come with me, but I'm going to leave some things at the door. Maybe I was a little too controlling, or maybe I was a little laissez-faire and I want to bring some more balance. You can do that, right? So a lot of times we can just kind of sit and rest in our identity and not really question it until we experience a major identity quake. It can happen in school leadership. So the more often that you're intentionally evolving your identity, selecting what thoughts serve me, what identity serves me, what beliefs about myself serve me, what serves my school, what thoughts do I think about others that help me lead, help me serve, that create value, and then what is more of a shake. The more often you're intentional about introspection, evolving your identity with intention, the faster you can reach your goals because you've got to evolve the mindset and the skill set in combination, in tandem. So, as leaders, we go first. And oftentimes we're like, okay, tell me what to do, lead the show. But that isn't being a leader. Leaders go first, we go often. We lead by example by leading ourselves. So, we have the capacity to continually evolve our identity over all aspects of our lives. We do this professionally. It's almost like it's built in professionally to like, we start here and then we get into this and then we are a leader and kind of a teacher leader and then maybe we're a coach and then there's in the evolution of our career, there's like milestones and steps that we're encouraged, expected to take to evolve. Most people don't just sit in the baseline position forever. They're not a teacher assistant forever. They're not, like when you go into corporate, you're not just working at the bottom level. You like go up and then maybe you get into management, assistant management, however the structure is, but there's a structure. In life, not so much. It's kind of like there's a structure in our schools and there's a structure professionally, but once we, you know, and there's really no rite of passage. Like we just kind of go into adulthood and then we go into, you know, what people say adulting, like adult living. And I guess like, there's some milestones. Maybe you go from renting to purchasing a home, or you go from being single to married, or you go from married to having kids. Like there's some of those, but then there's not a lot of structure out there. So we have to create that for ourselves. We have the capacity to continually evolve our identity, but it isn't structured in there. So little things make a big difference. For example, in school leadership, you can expand your capacity from being a person who used to skip lunch. Maybe as a teacher, you skipped lunch because you were prepping during your lunch, to someone who prioritizes getting some nourishment during your day. As I know a lot of principals, when they started working with me, they did not eat lunch. And then they would be ravenous and irritated by 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. But they maybe had some coffee, a couple cups of coffee in the morning, and then they were starving because they worked through lunch and they hadn't eaten. So I would train them like eat early or eat with the kids or schedule immediately after or let's have a snack or eat, something for breakfast. Find a time to eat so during the times you're needed out on your campus, you are not so starving that you can't think straight and you're considering buying a school lunch, right? Maybe your school lunches are good. There were days I was like, I don't think I could eat that. They've gotten much better over the years, by the way, but you know what I'm talking about if you've been around a school lunch. If you're that hungry, you haven't eaten in a while. But you can be the leader who prioritizes her body. You can get sleep if that's what you choose. You can eat. You can take a walk. You can have a 5-minute mental and emotional reset. You can do that. You can go from identifying as a person who doesn't walk, run, hike, do yoga to valuing physical movement and being that person. Now, will you be that person if you don't have the time? You see where I'm going with this, right? Oh, I would love to take a yoga class, but I just don't have the time. The job is too busy. It's too much. I can't handle it all. I got to do it all. Versus I have one of the gals I've been working with for the last 3 or 4 years. She was a brand new principal. Now she's in, I think, her fourth year. She went from being so overwhelmed, being brand new. She now is functioning exceptionally well at her school as a principal. She and her husband bought a gym and she teaches yoga class. Not only is she taking yoga classes, she's teaching yoga classes. And she and I are working together on a coaching project. You can expand your capacity. You can expand your identity. You can think that you're not funny to be thinking that you're funny and becoming, learning the skill of being more humorous. You can learn anything that you want. You can expand that capacity. You can't learn it all, but you can learn the thing. And you can do that one thing at a time. Like I'm taking dance classes now, but I'm not taking skiing lessons now, or tennis lessons, or pickleball, or whatever. Like I'm taking the dance classes. That's it. Eventually, I'll learn the dancing that I want to learn, and I can dance. Be it I identify as a dancer, and then maybe I will take pickleball lessons, or I will take whatever lessons. I always want to be learning something, but I don't have to just stay in the dance class forever and only learn that. I can do this and then have that skill set, and then I can maybe play piano or maybe, do a sport or maybe take more yoga classes. It doesn't matter. It's just what I want, what calls to me. It's my identity. I'm a learner. I'm a person who grows and involves. I'm a person who wants to learn all these skill sets for the fun of it. Not because I'm going to go on Dancing with the Stars anytime soon, or if ever, never. It's not about that. It's about having fun. It's about learning, growing, meeting people, and staying active. That's just because I want to expand my identity from non-dancer to dancer, right? So you create the identity you want. You create with your mind the skill sets. You start with the mindset, then you go into the skill set. Be the principal who has the time managed, who plans in advance, who makes time for fun, who gets to go to yoga, who eats lunch, who gets in the classroom, who enjoys, who sometimes has a meltdown, who sometimes also has a wipeout day, who sometimes also takes days off just to catch up on sleep or laundry, right? You get to be who you want to be. That's the most important lesson in this aspiring school leadership workshop is that you can select the identity and re-identifying yourself. It's just a matter of deciding who you want to be from this day forward. And then putting in that fuel, taking those actions, overseeing your mind, what it's thinking, what it's saying, the stories it's telling you, and then saying, oh, remember, we're not going to be a busy principal. We're going to be an empowered principal to confirm and affirm over and over that you are this person. And eventually it will become more automatic. But there is a transition time where you have to actively be intentional. It's like when you're learning how to drive, you're much more actively involved in all that's going on in the car. But when you've been driving for 20, 30 years, now all of a sudden you just get in and sometimes you don't even realize how you got to Target. You just got there, or you went to Costco, or you went to the grocery store. You, it's just autopilot. But in the beginning, you have to be intentional about it. This is what we're doing. We're being intentional about our lives. Like, oh, this dial over here, that's my fun dial. Oh, this dial is my communication, who have I not talked with in a little while? Oh, over here is my career dial. Over here is my family and my friends and my passions and vacation and the lawn, housework, whatever. You have a panel, a life panel. You can't do them all at once, but eventually you're going to be so tuned in with yourself that you can be more in alignment with where everything is at on your instrument panel. Okay. So the identity that I propose that you embrace is an empowered principal, an empowered district leader. Because this identity that you're experiencing, it creates impact. You matter. Your identity matters. Every human on this planet matters. and they have an identity. And that identity, whatever fuel you put into that identity, whatever story you give it, whatever journey it's on, it creates impact. Identity, like how you identify, is your personal efficacy, your belief in your capacity and your capability to achieve or accomplish something. And from there, we get inspiration. That's our energy. That's the desire, the conception of thoughts and ideas and interpretation and um, kind of momentum that you're building. I want to do this. I'm inspired. That's energy. It's the fuel you're putting in the tank. And that expands your capacity. Then that expands your identity, right? And when your identity is growing and your efficacy is growing and you're inspired to do something and you fuel that with energy and you create momentum, you've got awareness, then you have alignment. That momentum creates impact. And that impact is empowerment and it fuels and it expands and it grows. So, to create the type and the level of impact that you desire when you go into school leadership, it might be you might just have your eye set on, like, I want to do this one thing for teachers. I want to make sure the copy machine works, right? I want them to have enough paper. You might start there because that might be one of your biggest problems as a teacher. And then you get in, you see it. It's like, oh, but I still want this to work for them. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to find out why that copy machine jams every other day. Gonna talk to Xerox. I'm gonna make this happen, right? But in order to like expand your impact, you have to expand your self-efficacy, evolve your self-identity to create that impact. It all works together. It's the energetics of leadership. I am, I can, to create that impact. So your efficacy, your identity, plus the energy and momentum, that inspiration creates impact. Your belief that in yourself that you can create a desired goal and outcome, the energy, the emotional fuel that fuels your actions and generates momentum and the decisions you make and prioritizations you take and everything. Every action, every decision is fueled with an emotion and that generates momentum. You've had days where you're just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it means less energy, less fuel, less momentum, right? I'm feeling it. It's go time, right? Just notice that. What is, and take care of that piece of you, that emotional fuel within you. It's not to say you're trying to eradicate bad days, negative days. No, you allow them. I'm having a rough day. I'm going on low energy mode. I'm not going to hustle my way through the day today. I'm literally just going to get through the day. I'm just going to slow down. I'm going to grab an extra, get myself a tea, a coffee, a soda, some water. I'm just going to let myself be today because this is a hard day. I'm tired. You just turn it down. You are in control of the panel, the dial buttons, right? And then you turn it up when you want to hustle your muscles and get back into impact. But I will tell you this, without allowing yourself to turn the volume down, if it's just always needs to be on volume 10 and everything's on volume 10, you will not enjoy the experience as much. You will not be present because you'll be playing whack-a-mole and putting out fires, and you will exhaust yourself until you've expanded your capacity to have everything at 10 and it feels good. But if it's at 10 and it doesn't feel good, got to take it down to where you're at capacity. You can expand your capacity. It's like I remember before having kids, I thought my life was so busy and so full. And then after having kids, I was like, what did we do with our time? We had so much time. Now that we have kids, it feels like so different. But then I expanded, and then having kids wasn't, a negative impact or it wasn't a capacity problem. I could be a teacher, be a leader, be a principal, and have kids and still go out and have a life. I had it all. I was able to turn up the volume and just grow into that capacity. Okay. So, what happens when obstacles come up? You have this capacity and you're like, okay, I'm starting to hum along, got in the job, met the people, doing the work. Maybe you're even an EPC and you're with the Empowered Principal Collaborative, and we're collaborating, we're coaching, we're connecting, we're supporting one another. And then, boom, an obstacle comes, an identity quake happens. There's an emotional trigger. There are going to be situations at school that will trigger you emotionally. There's a lot going on in the world right now. I I will speak for myself, extremely triggered. So, there will be emotional triggers that take you out of intentional mode and into reactive mode. That's normal. You want to be aware of what that is. Like, how much news can you consume before you feel fatigued or you get so triggered that you're all fired up? What can you do in your own school? Identifying what's happening in your communities. There are communities, schools are being impacted, families, students are being impacted. Just be aware what really triggers you. Be just almost intimate with knowing that about yourself. This really bothers me. This I can't handle. Hearing about children. Like, I remember when I first became a teacher, like the first time I had to do a CPS call, it was just so triggering. Any kind of like pain, abuse, suffering for children, for anybody, but particularly for children as an educator was very difficult to me. I had to expand not my tolerance for it, but just to know how to handle it and to turn that trigger into an advocate. That even though I used to be afraid to call CPS, then I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to call CPS because it's in the best interest of kids. So you will have things that trigger you emotionally because we're in the business of humans, and there's a lot of amazing things and a lot of hard things about being human. And you will have things that just really break your heart, that crush you. Just be aware and allow yourself the time to feel those feelings, acknowledge them, validate them. Don't try to whisk them away. And in the moment, you might have to triage. You might have to, it's like incident command that you take care of business, and then you might have time for yourself emotionally later. Just be aware of that. So you might be in a phase of empowerment, like you kind of riding the new wave. It's feeling really good, really fun. And then pop, 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 pop. The fall dip happens around October, September, October. The honeymoon phase is over and everybody's, got an issue. Feels like everyone's coming to you at once. Everybody's complaining. Everyone's tired. This isn't working. And everyone's a little dysregulated. That can dysregulate you. Just be aware of that. And when you're dysregulated, it's really hard to hold space for other people who are dysregulated because now you're triggering one another. It starts going off like pop, like I think like firecrackers, that string of firecrackers, pop, 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 everybody's going off. So if you as the leader are going off when other people are going off, it's going to cause problems. So something about me is insufficient. Something about them is insufficient. Something about where I am is insufficient. You're going to feel insufficient or you're going to think they are insufficient. So when you're in dysregulation, take a breath, take a couple of breaths, big ones, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Ground yourself. You can sit, put your hands in your lap, put your hands on your heart or your heart in your belly, whatever feels grounding for you. Feel the ground beneath your buns and your feet. If you're you can even do this when you're standing. Sometimes on the playground, just in the cafeteria, on the campus, in your office. You can breathe at any time. Excuse me. Slow your body down. Take a drink of water. Pause your mind. I'm okay. I can handle this. I'm feeling, name that emotion, label it if you can. I'm feeling angry. Oh, I'm so angry right now. Wow. Whew, I am angry. I'm really mad. I'm so mad right now. Say it. Just keep saying it. I've said it in meetings before. Wow. Well, that really triggered me. That's really upsetting. Let's regroup here. Or, whoa, that took me by surprise. Whew, wow, that shocked me. Or, whoa, I didn't see that coming. I, you know, I'm feeling hurt. Naming our emotions, saying them, normalizing them as part of our culture at school is important. But when you're by yourself, if you're dysregulated, it's okay that I'm feeling angry. It's okay that I'm angry right now. Just giving permission to the emotion helps you regulate. But what we want to do is we want to judge those emotions, right? We're thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't be angry as a leader. I should always be pulled together. I shouldn't be upset. I should be able to handle this." Judging the emotions, not empowerment. That's just avoiding. And something about emotions, like when you put a fuel in, it doesn't go away just because you don't want it there. It stays. It's in the tank. So we have to let it run its course. You have to let it run through the system. It will feel better when, like, I'm really angry. I'm so angry right now. Ooh, I'm really angry. 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 Taking a walk. Angry. Okay. Spinning on it. Yeah. Those thoughts make me really angry. What they said made me really angry. I'm feeling the anger. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be when I'm angry? Why am I so angry? Bup, bup, bup. Your brain's going to tell you all the reasons why. Okay. Great. Wonderful. You can feel any emotion as a school leader and be an exceptional school leader and be an empowered school leader. Your emotions are not a signal that something's gone wrong. Your emotions are a signal that there's a certain fuel in the tank. It needs to be acknowledged, validated, expressed. It needs to run its course through the body. And it does have insight. It has intel. Why am I so angry? What's that about? What's that about? And you get to the core. What do I want to do about this? What would the empowered version of me do? What would the angry version of me do? It's okay. Play around with it for a little bit. When in doubt, especially if you're in a meeting and you don't have time to process in real time, go inward. Take a breath. You can tap right here. You can tap. I mean, sometimes I'll just do this. People won't even recognize it, or I'll do this if I'm under the table. Sometimes I pinch right here, just like when I'm angry, I'm just like pinch. I take a breath and I don't say anything. I don't react to the emotion. I just let it feel for a minute. It takes probably about 30 to 90 seconds, depending on how intense the emotion is, but it will, if you allow it without reacting to it, you'll be able to handle it. So, when you're a new principal, one of the things that we do without even realizing we're doing it, maybe we do, but I would say most of the time we don't, is the compare and despair. Because you're brand new, when you're new, you're comparing yourself, like me at the dance class. I'm comparing myself to the other people who are better dancers. Or I'm looking around like, oh, thank God that person's worse than me. So at least I'm not the worst one. I feel a little bit better about myself. But then these other three people are really, really good. I don't feel good about myself. We get into comparing ourselves to someone like I did with Dr. Crate. She was so impactful. She was so empowered. She was so successful. How come I want to be well liked like her. I want to be happy like her. I want to be empowered like her. How do I create this outcome for myself? And in the wondering of how they accomplished that, how did Dr. Krates get to be so empowered? Why am I such a loser over here? Why am I flailing? What's happening? But what happens is like, well, Angela, this is what your brain will say. Well, Angela, here's why she's accomplished and you're not. She has 19 years, you have four. She's this, you're not. She's that, you're not. And now all of a sudden, your brain is telling you all of the sad story reasons why you can't be like Dr. Krates and why you're not empowered and why you'll never be empowered because she's tall and you're short. Well, what good luck with that, right? She's this, I'm that. She has this, I have that. Well, I can't be tall, so I guess I can't be empowered. Guess I gotta wear taller heels. What? Like, and we come up with this excuse book, this like whole list of reasons why we can't be empowered. And we use compare and despair against us. Because what our brain is like, they have something you don't. They're better, stronger, wiser, funnier, happier, smarter. They smell better. They're prettier, right? They have better connections. District admin likes them more. They have it easier. They have more resources. They have more courage. It's not that hard. It's not as hard for them as it is for me. We literally can, out of compare and despair, create a manual about why it's so sad for us that we can't be empowered. I don't want you to take that path. And if you do decide to come into EPC, there will be more veteran principals, there will be brand new principals, there will be a mix of people because all people are welcome at the empowered principal table should they want to be here. And when you decide that they did something and the reason they have something is because it's something you can't obtain, you're kind of off the hook. Well, I can't be empowered because I'm not tall. I can't be empowered because I don't know that person at the district, or I can't be empowered because she's always going to have more years of experience than I do. It just becomes out of your reach, out of your control, and out of your power. You step out of empowerment. And I know that because I did that. And the brain wants us off the hook because the brain wants things to be as easy as possible. It likes very little pain. It likes a whole lot of pleasure, and it doesn't like things to be hard. So it's always looking for the reason as to why our hard is more hard than somebody else's hard and why we can't do the hard thing to make it better. It wants to keep you in your zone of safety, your zone of comfort, your zone of peace. It doesn't want you to go out and learn how to dance. It doesn't want you to go out and learn how to be an empowered principal. It doesn't want you to join EPC because it might be weird or uncomfortable. You don't know what to expect. And it's not your zone of safety. It's not something you've ever experienced before. But the problem with that is it's more isolating. It's not peaceful, it's painful. It can be grueling. It can be torturous to be isolated, to be alone, to not put yourself out there. Because now you're just, it's you, yourself, and I all in your brain. It's this endless chase of like aching for what you want and knowing it's out there, but you don't have control. I'll never be an empowered principal because it's so torturous that we do to ourselves because something's wrong with you inherently and something's right with them. This is all or none thinking. They have it all, I have none. And it feels like there's only two options when we are in compare and despair down to the depths of our soul. They have it and I don't. Poor me. What's wrong with me? I got the short end of the stick. I'm not that good. I can never be that. I can never have that. I can never do that. All or none thinking. Either everything's working, they must have it great, no problems for them, lucky them, and everything's wrong with me, right? But there's a third option. There's a third door that frees you from this painful dissatisfaction and disempowerment. And that's the land of and, to turn inward into your self-efficacy. to leverage your talents, your strength, your shortness, right? You can be 5'3" on a good day with heels and be an empowered principal. It's not about your height. It's not about 19 years of experience. It's about her mindset. Dr. Kreitz was a force to be reckoned with because she chose to be. Maybe she had physical attributes that made her just appear more regal and powerful and graceful. I loved that woman, like just everything about her. And I probably just yearned for things like I wanted to be tall and thin. I was short and round. That's just who I was. But what I did have was my own set of talents, my own strength, my own capacities. I got here in the same position she's in somehow. So I started turning inward and looking at what I was good at, who I was, what people liked about me, what I liked about me, what made this job fun for me, my accomplishments. I wasn't trying to be her. I was no longer trying to be her. I was trying to be me. And in that is where I found my empowerment, the adversities that you have overcome. Because you, my aspiring school leaders, are freaking miracles, every single one of you. Whether you're watching this live right now or you're watching the replay, you are a freaking miracle. You matter. There's only one you. There's only one person that could be you. There's only one of you that can lead the way you lead, that have the skills you have, that have the perspective and the lens through which you look at the world and education. It's only one of you, only one. And you are meant for this job. You're meant for school leadership. You're meant to have influence and impact and create a legacy, to empower children, to empower staff and students so that they can go be their best selves because they're also a freaking miracle. Even the ones that bother us, that don't beat to their, the same drum we do, that we don't understand, we can embrace them. We need differences in the world. We need our teachers to push back on us, not because we're incompetent, insufficient, we can't handle it, and they're annoying, but because we want to understand what makes them tick. We want to look inside their steer cycle, which is a concept I teach in EPC. Their thought patterns, their self-identity. For us to lead other people, we need to understand them, where they're at, where they want to be, but that they have limitless potential. You did something right to be here, to be aspiring to be a leader. You have what it takes. If you're here in this class, whether you're watching it live or replay, you have what it takes. And every time you level up, it's going to be accompanied by another self-efficacy assessment, another self-identity chapter. It's a journey. The old chapter doesn't have to die for the new chapter to evolve. Half of the chapter can come with you. This is a continual, this is called lifelong learning, continual evolution, right? And sometimes we forget this. We kind of level up and then we get surrounded and we get new and we're like, we go small, or we compare and despair, or we allow ourselves the discomfort and we rise into the position. And it'll feel like you're on a horse going 100 miles an hour, right? Whoa, am I ready for this? Whoa, can I handle this? Am I capable? Woo, do I have the capacity? It's gonna feel a little scary. It's like when you get on a roller coaster or you drive a brand new car for the first time and it's a little different. Whoa, whoa, this is such a nice car. It's maybe too fancy for me. No, it's not. Just slow down, get familiar, read the handbook, practice in the parking lot, whatever it takes for you to get out on the road, to get up on the saddle, to get on the roller coaster in the front seat, not the back. Just explore the questions and explore the answers. This is the path to being impactful, to being empowered. And look, you're going to get tested. You're going to be shaky. You're going to feel a little crunchy. Nothing's gone wrong. You're going to fail. Beliefs are going to get tested. Am I this? Is this my identity? Is it? Let me test you. Universe is going to test you. People are going to test you, and you might fail the exam sometimes. You might fall off the horse. You might step on someone's toes in dance class. You might run a stop sign or, you know, crunch, something in the garage when you pull in, right? Just different depth perception. Didn't see it coming. You're going to go through wins and fails. You're going to go through conditioning exercises. It's okay. You live, you learn, you overcome, you feel bad, and then you move on. Because eventually you do pass. Eventually you do succeed, and you move on to the next level. So, creating impact. The 3Ds: define, declare, and develop. Define the kind of impact you want to make and why before you get into the school leadership position. Get in tune with your identity. Who am I? Define the impact you want to make and why. Get grounded in that compelling reason. And then declare, this is who I want to be. This is the version of me that I want to become in order to create this impact. So I define what I want. I look into who that person is, and I declare who I'm going to be. And then I start to develop that identity with my mindset. I develop the skill set. No mindset, no skill set. So define your vision and the impact you want to make, declare who you have to be in order to make that happen, and then just work towards developing that skill set. This is the process of human development. Kids are doing it in school every single day, and we can teach them this. That's what the Empowered Principal Academy, which is coming this summer, is going to help you with, to teach people how to coach themselves, to teach you how to coach you and others. This is the human development process, and we're in the business of human development. It's the process that was simulated in our schools. But we're in the school of life now as adults. We're in the school of choosing evolution. It's not forced upon us structurally as it is in school or as it is in our career. This is the school of life. There aren't any more bell schedules. There are not any more grade levels. There's not any more syllabi and, tests, what do you call it? Progress monitoring and assessment, benchmark assessments and state testing. There's none of that anymore. There's just us driving our own journey, us deciding what our benchmarks are, us deciding what our assessments are, us deciding if we've are meeting our own standards or not. These are life standards. Am I living at the standard of life that I want to live? You can stay in the same grade if you want to. Stay in the same, routine for as long as you want. You never have to learn again if you don't want to. But that's not why you're here. That's not why you're here. You are here to evolve, to learn, to grow, to be empowered, to expand the quality of your life, to go out and live big dreams, have experiences, love your job, love the work you're doing, love the kids, love, love, love. You want to enjoy yourself, to have the best experience as a school leader as possible. This is living in your fullest empowerment. It's believing that you have the power to create any experience you want. And as aspiring leader, you're in the prime time because this is the identity shift. It's natural. So you can say, as of today, new identity. I'm now a leader. This is what I value. This is the value I want to offer and create. This is the impact I want to create. I declare this is who I'm going to be in order to create this. I'm going to go from not being this to being this today. Like a person who doesn't go out for walks and a person who does, the only difference is one person puts their shoes on and gets outside and goes for a walk. Or a person who walks, who's not a runner, the only difference is they start running versus they were walking. The person who doesn't go to yoga versus who does is the person who simply looks up the yoga schedule and gets in the car with their yoga mat and gear and goes to the class. It's the only difference. And you can look, well, why am I not going to yoga? Well, I'm not, well, I don't feel this. Do I want to be the person who goes to yoga? Yes or no? Do I want to be an empowered principal? Yes or no? It's just a decision that you make, and it's an identity that you embody. Okay. So the starting line is to believe that the impact that you want to create matters. And the identity of who you have to be to create that impact matters. This, by definition, means that you matter. You matter, your emotions matter, the fuel you're putting in your body, it all matters. Validating your emotions, listening to them, using them as intel and insight, wisdom, knowledge, they always have something to offer you. The guidance through your internal compass, the truth of these words, let that resonate with you right now. You matter. Your identity matters. The mindset you have going into school leadership matters. Your vision matters. Going into interviews, how you're thinking about them, about you, about yourself matters. So, what comes up next? You're going to define the impact you want to make. You're going to declare that identity, and you're going to develop that identity through the skill set, through the work and the action of your everyday life, your everyday work day. You're going to be the person. You're the becoming of an empowered principal. And I highly invite you to register for the Empowered Principal Collaborative. If you register now in the spring, I will give you the remainder of this year. I will let you come into the program and all of next year for the price of just next year. So the cost of the Empowered Principal Collaborative for the entire school year is $2,222. But if you join now, it's March 7th. If you join between March and May, you will get to come into this year's EPC program and be at the table with empowered principals. You will get this as a bonus. You'll get all of March, all of April, and all of May. We take off June and July so that people can go have their summer of fun. We do a big program, Summer of Fun Challenge for school leaders. You're going to go off, but I will be hosting planning events, the leadership mastery events. So if you have paid for EPC, which is $2,222, you will have full access next year. Plus, you're going to get into the tail end of this year. So you're going to be in all of the conversations around HR stuff and planning and figuring out the end of the year. So you're going to be already like a year ahead of the game when you join us in EPC. The end of this year, you can tag on in. It's a Zoom call once a week on Wednesdays, and you have obviously access to all the replays. But you will be at the table with leaders who are doing the thing, getting the inside scoop, having the inside conversations, getting the coaching, getting mentorship, collaborating. A lot of people have a lot of wonderful ideas. We all collaborate, we share together. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. You will get access to that as a bonus. So I can get you prepped in, ready to go. There will be courses over the summer that you can take to prepare yourself for new school leaders, planning, prepping, prioritizing, all of that like skill-based stuff. I've got you along with the mindset. And then EPC is the full package. You have access to everything, mindset and skill set. Any workshops that I do during the course of the year, you get in free of charge. This is a full, all-inclusive package. So, as a bonus, for those of you who registered for this program, I'm going to send you, I was going to do it live, but I'm going to send it to you as a replay so that you can watch it at your own leisure. So instead of doing it live tomorrow, I'm going to send you the landing your first job. I'm going to send you the link to how to land your first job. It's all things interview. So if you're an aspiring school leader and you are in the interview process right now, I have a course that I pre-recorded. I taught it in years past. I was planning to teach it again live, but I want to give you time to digest this program. And then I'm going to send you the replay of the training that I've conducted on how to land your first job in school leadership. You get that as a bonus for signing up for this today. And then when you are ready, I will, along with that, I will send you the link to EPC. And when you sign up, you will get to come in and you'll get to see the end of the school year coaching and training that we're doing. March, April, and May, you'll get 3 months into EPC for the cost of next year, which is $2,222 for the entire year. In addition, EPC offers weekly group coaching calls, but you also get one monthly one-on-one call with me. So you can schedule a one-on-one 30-minute private coaching session with just me. So if you've got a sensitive topic or something that's personal you want to work through that you don't want to discuss in the group, you get personalized one-on-one sessions in addition to EPC. You also get access to my platform, the Empowered Principal on School, SKOOL, which is a platform where all of my trainings are highlighted. You can go in there, take the trainings at your leisure. If something specific comes up for you, all of the leadership mastery, time mastery, planning mastery, balance mastery, relationship mastery, emotional emotional regulation mastery, leadership mastery, that's all in there. All of the trainings I've ever done are in there. It's an archive, it's a library of resources for you as an empowered principal. They come along with, some have workbooks, some don't, depending on if it's a more skill set or a more mindset based program. So join us for EPC. You're going to get like kind of come in through the back door and see what's happening as an aspiring leader. And then you'll have full access from August all the way through the end of the school year. So 2026 into 2027. I hope that you have received the brilliance that you are, the magnificence that you are, the miracle that you are. You are ready for this. You have everything it takes. I look forward to you being an EPC so I can get to know you personally, we can support you professionally, and that you can create the most exceptional leadership and lifestyle of your wildest dreams. We've got this. You've got this. Have the most beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. I love you. I care about you. You're wonderful and you are empowered. Take good care, and we'll see you very, very soon in EPC. Bye.